prime, who would have won, Crawford or Mayweather? Prime for prime.
Crawford.
Really?
It's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
His basics are solid. His fundamentals are solid. He's strong. He's physical. He's moved up and become, solid at a heavier weight than when he started in his career. He's grown into. He's got great experience.
Floyd Mayweather may be celebrated as one of the greatest defensive masters in boxing history, but whispers across the fight world hint that stepping in with Terence Crawford could spell disaster. Analysts warn that Mayweather, long retired and well past his prime years, would risk both his legacy and his health against a pound-for-pound king like Crawford, a fighter feared for ruthless combinations, razor-sharp timing, and the ability to adapt to anyone. Crawford stands as a dangerous obstacle that many insist Mayweather should steer clear of at all costs.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, now that was a big take. And of course, he's fought both of them.
Yeah, he would know.
So that was a big take. But
Not
yeah,
really.
I think
lost
so.
to both of them. Not for people who watch boxing. No, that's not. No.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we sent that Terence Crawford some love, because he also talked a lot that night about how people underestimated him and thought, because people didn't really. He doesn't have the biggest star power, that he wasn't going to win the fight, and he definitely took that home. So congratulations to him. Now
The what?
He doesn't have the biggest star power.
Oh, no.
Yeah, people were he was saying that people were underestimating him because of that.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. walked away from boxing with a flawless 50-0 record, his legacy etched as one of the greatest defensive artists the sport has ever seen. Terence Crawford, also unbeaten, stands tall as a multi-weight world champion celebrated for his stance switching, sharp ring IQ, explosive power, and unmatched variety. As Crawford continues to rule across divisions, the debates grow louder. Comparisons, dream matchups, and endless questions about who would truly prevail if both men had collided at their absolute peak.
Terence Crawford on Saturday has not only become the pound-for-pound #1 fighter, I honestly believe that he surpasses now Floyd Mayweather as the best fighter of this generation. That's what I believe.
If that was the goal by Floyd, to be undisputed, then he would have chased undisputed. He chased champions until he became the money draw.
Do you know that Floyd never unified any of the divisions he fought in?
Because he never had to. He was a draw. He just didn't have to. He done the hard work in getting there.
Terence Crawford started out his boxing career as a lightweight, and now he's gone up to super middleweight and become the undisputed super middleweight champion, beating a guy like Canelo, who, listen, previously, man, he was wreaking havoc through that division. And Terence Crawford's just gone out there and taken the belt off him with, let's be honest, relative ease.
Legendary three-division champion Shane Sugar Mosley stirred the conversation by suggesting Crawford might actually hold the edge over Floyd Mayweather, at least against certain versions of him. Mosley highlighted Crawford's power, versatility, and ability to switch stances, saying those tools create unpredictable angles and dangerous offensive threats. In his view, against Money Mayweather, Crawford could very well come out on top, but Mosley also admitted that the younger, hungrier pretty boy, Mayweather, might tell a different story, one that presents a far greater challenge for Crawford.
Go ahead.
Did you believe or do you agree with the fact that Canelo is saying Crawford is better than Mayweather from an outsider's perspective, having not fought Crawford? Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Tim Bradley, a former world champion, has boldly declared that he believes Crawford would defeat a prime Floyd Mayweather. He points out that Crawford is highly intelligent, adaptable, and blessed with impeccable timing. Bradley respects Mayweather's defensive brilliance and natural agility, but argues that Crawford carries the offensive firepower and tactical depth needed to eventually break through.
Distance, but Terence Crawford is also a master at distance. Terence Crawford has punching power to hurt Floyd Mayweather. We saw that in the Zab Judah fight now.
Yeah, Shane too. Shane hurt him with the right hand.
Shane did hurt him as well.
Yep.
And did he fight Shane? But did Floyd fight Shane in his prime? Do you think he fought him in his prime?
No.
Exactly.
And
Max,
Zab wasn't quite a
exactly.
Shane-level fighter. That's true. Listen, it'd
There
be
you
a great
go,
match.
Max.
Amir Khan has voiced deep respect for Crawford, admitting there's a real case that Crawford could defeat Floyd Mayweather. Khan highlights Crawford's remarkable timing, noting how he disrupts rhythm, makes sharp adjustments, and executes clever strategies. Reflecting on his own fight, Khan recalled how Crawford frustrated him by forcing misses within inches, then punishing gaps with perfectly timed combinations. He adds that Crawford surpasses many top names in the welterweight scene and believes even Mayweather, with all his legendary defensive brilliance, might struggle against Crawford's unique blend of offense, intelligence, and adaptability.
Look, when I was in the ring with him, even though towards after the 1-2 rounds, I started getting my rhythm, but I have to say, probably one of the best fighters I've ever faced, honestly. And I've faced the likes of Canelo, and I was at boxing fighters like him. Every fight I've lost previously was when I was up on points, and obviously might have got caught with a good shot and got knocked out or whatever. But with Crawford, his timing was so on point. I mean, like, what a great fight he was, technician. And I'll always, look, I'm not a hater in any way. Look, even though the fight went the way it did, but I just think his timing was amazing, and just everything about the game plan he had for the fight. I mean, he's a brilliant fighter. You cannot take that away from him. And if he was to fight any welterweight, being Manny Pacquiao, being Errol Spence, being even Floyd Mayweather, I think Crawford would beat a lot of them, maybe all of them. Even and the only fight I would say for him would be a good fight technically would be someone like Mayweather. But I really think he would beat Mayweather.
Carl Frampton, the former two-division world champion, believes Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo was more than just a victory. It reshaped how he measures Crawford alongside Floyd Mayweather. Frampton insists that Crawford's dominance, controlling the fight, dealing damage, and setting the pace, proved he has reached a level capable of challenging Mayweather at his peak. He draws parallels between Crawford's technical mastery, ring command, and finishing power in that fight, and the iconic performances often cited whenever people debate the greatness of prime Mayweather.
Feeling that Crawford is going to nick it. I think if he does nick it, it does kind of have to be a stinker. He has to move and use his feet. I think Canelo's feet aren't what they once were, but certainly he's a stronger man in the fight. I think we're going to see a very close one, possibly even a draw, but if you put a gun to my head, I would say Crawford in a close points decision.
You talk a bit about the fight maybe not catching fire in the way some were expecting. If Terence Crawford is to win the fight, does it have to be that sort of fight? And leading from that, can he hurt Canelo Alvarez?
I don't think so. I mean, look at the shots guys like Golovkin bounced off Canelo's head. It's almost like he's unhurtable. We seen him hurt by Miguel Cotto's brother a number of years ago, but that was it really, and he was a young boy. So I think that I don't expect to see Terence hurting or being able to hurt Canelo, but there's a way he can win the fight, and that is by outboxing him.
If Terence Crawford does win, as you're predicting, does he rival Alexander Usyk for that number one pound-for-pound spot?
I mean, you have to start. I've never really thought about it, but that's a good question, and he'd certainly be yeah.
Shakur Stevenson has made it clear he believes Terence Crawford is just one fight away from entering the greatest of all-time discussion, especially if that fight is a win over Canelo Alvarez. Stevenson points to Crawford's skills, movement, and sharp boxing IQ, believing those attributes give him the ability to shut down Canelo's offense and tilt the fight in his favor. He adds that a victory over someone of Canelo's stature, long regarded as boxing royalty, would not simply be another belt on Crawford's record, but a defining moment that reshapes how history remembers him. In Stevenson's view, beating Canelo secures Crawford's place among the all-time greats and makes it nearly impossible for critics to deny.
If Bud beats Canelo convincingly, right, would you put him above Floyd, an all-time great?
See, I ain't
Give me a solid answer. Come on, Shakur. Don't dance around that, bro.
I can't get into that because at the end of the day, it's like.
But
it's
that's just an opinion.
It's opinionated.
Right, I want
Regardless,
your
it's
opinion.
opinionated. My opinion on it, I think Bud is the greatest of all time after doing this.
Okay.
But
thank you. That's all I wanted.
Floyd is the greatest of all time in my eyes too. Like
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
watch with him is like he's one of my favorite fighters. So,
I know.
Crawford has pushed back on constant comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, making it clear he doesn't see their styles or careers as truly alike. He stresses that Mayweather fought in a different era, with its own opponents, promotional systems, and public expectations. Crawford's path, meanwhile, has carved its own unique arc. He also insists that while comparisons may fuel media debates, his focus stays firmly on what he can control, sharpening his craft, choosing the right fights, and staying consistent. For him, stacking records or fantasy matchups matters less than proving himself in the ring against elite competition. He views his achievements on their own terms, not through Mayweather's legacy.
Everyone is going to start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah. We ain't going out that much.
Now,
many boxing analysts have voiced sharp criticism of Floyd Mayweather's recent stretch of exhibition fights, claiming they diminish both his legacy and the spirit of the sport. Their biggest concern is that these exhibitions are lopsided affairs, often matching Mayweather against non-elite opponents, influencers, or YouTubers instead of real contenders, stripping away any true competitive edge. To critics, these matchups feel less like authentic sporting events and more like money-driven showcases, created for spectacle rather than meaningful competition.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Oscar de la Hoya has been especially outspoken, calling some of the exhibitions embarrassing and claiming they turned boxing into a mockery. Analysts, too, have questioned the entertainment value of putting Mayweather against YouTubers, arguing that the spectacle does little to honor the craft or celebrate true skill.
I want to say, but I won't say it. But other than Leonard Ellerby is a boxing man. He knows deep down that was absolutely horrendous. And the other thing is as well, when you got a guy in the environment that we're living at the moment, right, after a tough year for a lot of people, to come out at the press conference and just basically laugh at people and say, I just took your money. It was a bank job. It was a heist. It was like I conned you into, I mean, those pay-per-views in America, I think they were like $60. I mean, he basically just took the piss out of the fans. But I don't blame him. He made an absolute fortune. Good luck to him. I'm not having a go at Floyd Mayweather. I'm just a fan who's allowed to give my opinion. Absolutely dreadful. Even Floyd Mayweather was embarrassed at a press conference after. He basically said, I'm not doing that again. The biggest winner was Logan Paul. I mean, he's just gone 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. And actually, at times...
Did you think he got knocked out and held up?
No, I think at times Floyd Mayweather was actually really trying. But anyway, it was what it was. But it all comes back to the pressure is on us. Not us, as in me and Matchroom, but it is on boxing. If we don't make good fights, you're going to see more and more of this. Because if Gervonta Davis against Mara Barros is doing 100,000 buys, and Andy Ruiz against Areola is doing 80,000 buys or 100,000 buys, and you've got that doing 1 million, what are the broadcasters going to want? That. We have to save boxing. We, not just me, all of us. And the fighters have got to step up, the managers have got to step up, the trainers have got to step up. We've got to pay the money for these guys to have real fights. And that's what you'll see at Fight Camp.
Eddie Hearn also slammed one of Mayweather's exhibition bouts, calling it absolutely horrendous and warning that such events damage boxing's reputation. Stephen A. Smith joined the criticism, arguing that Mayweather's choice of opponents failed to match his caliber and seemed motivated more by money than by protecting his legacy. In a pointed interview, Smith even confronted Mayweather directly, asking if he placed greater value on his fortune than on the legacy he built inside the ring.
Is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't see just anybody on the basketball court playing against LeBron James. He won't do it. He doesn't have to. It's a waste of his time. You might see footages of Dwayne Wade training his son. You don't see Dwayne Wade playing against just anybody. He's not doing it.
The recent announcement of a Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson exhibition set for spring 2026 has stirred major controversy, with many in boxing questioning the value and credibility of such spectacles. Mayweather, however, has fired back at the criticism, defending these events as both a valid way to stay active and a chance to earn on his own terms. He argues that retirement doesn't mean disappearing, but living freely, choosing what to do and when. To him, these exhibitions let loyal fans and new audiences witness him perform, even if not in official bouts. He also maintains that making massive paydays this way is no different from how other successful figures continue to grow wealth and influence later in life.
Bye. Goodbye. Pick up a couple dollars. You know, they upset. See, they upset because I'm able to milk the game. I was smart, kept all my faculties, made a lot of smart investments. So, you know, when great people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the Waltons, the people that own Walmart and Walgreens, when they're getting money in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, 80s, and even 90s, it's okay. A young kid like myself from the inner city, from the ghetto, I worked my way to the top. I was able to leave boxing on my own terms and keep all my faculties, kept a lot of my money. So they're upset that I'm able to go out there and continue to make 40 and 50 and 60 million outside the ring. You can't get mad. Yo, listen, this is what God wanted.
The warnings from boxing insiders that Floyd Mayweather should avoid a showdown with Terence Crawford are rooted in more than hype. Crawford's recent dominance has shifted the balance in conversations about who truly sits at the top. Promoters like Bob Arum now argue that Crawford could defeat a prime Mayweather. In the end, unless Mayweather returned in peak condition with razor-sharp reflexes and the hunger to match, most experts believe facing Crawford carries far more risk than reward. The wiser move may be to let Crawford define the moment, rather than entering a fight where legacy itself hangs in the balance.
What's up, fight fans? Prime for prime. Who wins a fight, Floyd Mayweather Jr. or Bud Crawford? Bob Arum says Bud. Do you agree?
For prime, who would have won, Crawford or Mayweather? Prime for prime.
Crawford.
Really? Why?
Because Crawford is a unique kind of fighter that other fighters haven't seen. And the ability that he has to switch,
You know, fighters aren't used to that. They don't train for that. I just think Crawford is a very, very unique talent.
What do you think about it? Does Crawford truly have the tools to surpass Mayweather if the two ever clashed? Or does Mayweather remain the untouchable standard no one can reach? Share your thoughts and comments below.